Good morning, my friends. Daniel Miller here, and I welcome you all to our Destiny Worlds. Destiny 2 Forsaken. It is today. As you know, we are carrying on with our Solstice of Heroes grinds. Coming to its end, really. Just a few more tasks to be completed. The two tasks left are basically collection of orbs, and then doing some of those in the strikes, and then some activities related to one of the weapons, and that's about it. Yesterday I had a lengthy 25 patrol grind on Titan, which was successfully completed. I think my entire broadcast was dedicated to it, and I have to say some of the patrols were quite difficult. They did take a little while, so altogether very enjoyable with plenty of action to be had. And yesterday I didn't have my team on board. It was a very quiet morning, and the vast majority of my community members were not here. So it was the first session of Destiny 2 I played by myself altogether since I resumed its broadcast, and that's already for a little while. But never mind, you know, some days are like this. Hopefully on Sunday we'll have some other people waking up earlier and then joining us and providing us with some absolutely wonderful action. So that's the idea for today. In terms of the news, we spent last few broadcasts analysing in depth what Luke Smith, the game director, said. We've had 3 installments of his review and his re-evaluation of Destiny World, and we discovered that there are lots of interesting changes to arrive our way very shortly. And also we've had some interesting news regarding PvP with lots of changes that will be applied in October. So you know, we've seen and heard everything from the director. We've watched some of the live broadcasts, and indeed we are now looking forward to see how all is going to blend once the game is released. I'm very excited about it. I think the game is excellent as it is, and the further enhancements and improvements will indeed provide us with a lot more fun. And I think particularly in the PvP, what they said, there are going to be elements of greater variety, people not be able to stuck to certain maps, and also they are introducing a significant novelty in the area of matchmaking. They don't want people to be just bundled up together according to their availability, but they want to be doing I guess a tracker of people's abilities and status within the Crucible. That's not always going to be the correct picture, because I've noticed sometimes have people on 3 characters and they keep maybe one character on very low power to deceive the rest, whilst in fact they are already your Crucible veterans on one of the characters. But you know, nevertheless, I think once we compare the figures, the vast majority will be selected correctly, and we do want to see people of similar sort of ability in the arena, because otherwise it can be very unpleasant, and it can be demoralizing, I think, for people who want to learn. I always say that the best way of learning the Crucible is by setting up private matches with your community, where other people who are already advanced can teach you some tips and tricks, you can practice it. But do not forget one very important factor. If you're playing any PvP game, so that means Crucible included, you must have the fastest possible internet available. Your internet must not be with some sort of slow upload speed, because if that is the case, the enemies will see you quicker to where you can see them, and also your weapons and their target acquisition, i.e. their hit ratio, will not be as good as it should. If you watched my stream, you would see that sometimes when playing with other characters, I would eliminate them and they would die 3 seconds later. Just think about it, 3 seconds later, that means they would have seen me at least 2 seconds before I saw them, and the firing and everything else would have been already hitting me before I could even see the enemy. So really that's very important, together with obviously your ability and knowledge and skill that needs to be polished up within the game. But if you're trying hard to get some good scores and you are on an ordinary residential broadband to what we have in the UK, you will be failing and you will not be able to get the scores. So do not get demoralized, do not get disappointed or sad. It is not down to yourself, it's down to the tech. Just make sure, if you are engaging with PvP competitively rather than for just your own entertainment, then make sure that you are having the best possible speed, and that is the upload speed, not the download speed. Remember that there's a big difference between those two. I sometimes have people playing here on my channel in the PvP who are on upload speed of 1000, and then compare that with the upload speed of just 1, which is present on my system, well, that is just beyond comparison. And I know that even for lots of other friends and colleagues who are on fiber optic, even if they are on Virgin packages, they will get maybe the upload speeds of 4 to 6, sometimes maybe 8, and that's just about as fast as it will be. Compared to some of the other countries where they are on speeds of 1000, that is simply a non-starter. And remember that if you're entering this arena. Anyway, we talked a lot about all of those reviews provided by the game director, Tim Smith, and Luke Smith, I beg your pardon. And we indeed are very excited and encouraged with all said and heard. And now we are just preparing for that wonderful date of 1st of October. But presently, equally, we are grinding Solstice of Heroes Armor. We've heard that Solstice of Heroes Armor is going to be upgradable once Shadowkeep launches, and we'll get this perk from Banshee, and then it will be turned into Majestic Exotic, and that will be fully customizable. Means we'll have a new energy bar instead of perks. That is going to be helping our progression, and then we'll have a section for the mods, which is going to be considerably extended. And all the mods will be weapon and armor specific, therefore we'll have to be collecting them, and most importantly, they will not be deletable, so we will not be able to get rid of them. They will always stay with us. They will be reacquired for any other weapon we acquire, we purchase or collect, and indeed that will be serving its purpose very, very well throughout the whole game. Yesterday I had a bit of my own personal entertainment outside my broadcast. I'm aware of the fact that Apex Legends, a game that I've been supporting, and as you know, Apex is a team effort game based on a team of 3, and I've seen some of my colleagues who are competitive professional players of Apex and PUBG on their streams. So they were testing it and trying. It was quite difficult, and particularly one of my colleagues, she is always excelling with her teamwork, but she found it really difficult to win those matches when playing by herself. And I tried it yesterday, and I have to say it was a lot more difficult to what I expected it to be. And I guess it was brought closer to the experience of PUBG, just purely through the way it actually operates. So I had a bit of fun with a few matches, and I thought it was pretty good, and obviously I'll be revisiting it. And in addition to that, I wanted to tell everyone that this weekend we have Borderlands, the Game of the Year edition, available free of charge, and you can download and play the entire game literally throughout the whole weekend, I think until tomorrow night. So unless you are also on PlayStation Now services like myself, then you can just download and play for those 3 days. If you're on PS Now services, then you can simply access it through your library of games, and you can do your own stream. Basically, you stream to the server of PS Now, and you'll be able to play it as long as you want. But as you know, Borderlands is one of those legendary shooters, FPS games, very, very popular still today, with the new game coming out shortly, Borderlands 3, and we are very, very excited obviously about that. And what better way to become reacquainted but simply by jumping in and then doing the original. And there are lots of different things you can do there. It's a classical FPS game. You walk around, you shoot the enemies, collect the goodies. So in fact, it's on the level with other FPS games like Rage and Bethesda's Fallout. And the environment is very, very similar. It's post-apocalyptic environment, similar to what we had in Mad Max trilogy or franchise, I should say. And indeed, you are then engaging as characters, collecting the goodies, creating your own specific achievements, and indeed, I guess, collecting scores. So anyway, this weekend is your Borderlands weekend, so make sure you download the game and try it, and then maybe you'll buy it, or indeed, if you are like myself, you can join PS Now services and then simply enjoy those games, up to 1,000 games at any given moment in time. It's simply overwhelming that so many games are there to be played, and I think the facility is still greatly undervalued and under-recognized, because you really want to be paying one fee, your subscription fee, in order to access as many games as possible. I mean, I have to say, I've bought hardly any games since I joined PS Now services, also since I've been able to collect those freebies from PlayStation Plus, and my collection of games is exponentially rising. I can try anything I want at any given moment in time, and what better way of finding out what the game is like but just simply by accessing it straight away, and without even thinking, without any need to download. You just access the game and play it, and that's the best way forward. So make sure you subscribe to PS Now and Xbox Game Pass. Those are the services, gaming services of the future. The corporations are basically focused on full development of their services, and the best quality goods are going to come from them. Don't forget, Microsoft are now offering the Ultimate Pass that also combines access to Xbox Pass on your PC, and you also get your Xbox Live for free as part of that package, plus many other offers and interesting additions every single month, one of which is arriving, I think, in a few weeks. That's Gears of War 5. Anyone who subscribed to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription will be able to get the game and try it 7 days in advance, as well as its Ultimate Edition. So don't forget, the Ultimate Edition will cost about $90. So if you are a subscriber to get Xbox Game Pass, and obviously on that package called the Ultimate, you are accessing it 7 days before everyone else, and you can play the Ultimate without any extra cost. That is astonishing, and you really should not miss out on this opportunity. They will be looking at Xbox Game Pass services in depth and at full development. They'll be introducing lots of different things there, and I think the idea is to set up a forum which is similar to Twitch. You have their own proprietary streaming engine called Mixer, which needs to be blending with those services, and their own blogs and community forums. When it will work, we'll have to see, but I think it's definitely a very, very good idea. And I think I'm actually staggered and surprised that nobody had set up forums where you can just review those games on the spot, because the access to them is incredible, better than at any other stage in history, and I'm considering doing that myself here. As you know, we said we'll keep this format for a year, and the format so far has proved to be very, very successful. But once we get to September, once I'm proceeding into my second year, I will apply some serious changes, and we'll have somewhat different structure in here, which perhaps will provide you also with a greater variety and with a different schedule. The schedule will basically allocate certain slots within my daily broadcast in order for people to access what they like doing the best. We'll have a slot for the news, for our community activity, for perhaps the introduction of new games and the hottest new properties, as well as our regular online communication through online gaming activity. So watch this space for more, for restructuring and for all the news. And what else did I do? Well, the usual lot, I was doing my admin. I always read my Twitter feeds and the news I get throughout the day. The news are usually posted either before my broadcast here or most frequently later in the afternoon. I work then on my gaming and film dialogue hubs, which are dedicated to gaming and film industry consecutively. And then sometimes I watch some films and documentaries in the evening. That's the way it's been now for about a year, and my involvement with film industry has been somewhat downsized due to this channel. But I think in due course we'll have a merger of the two, and we'll have really the best of both worlds, with consecutive broadcasts and streams, and indeed engagement of our community on both fronts. Because if you consider video gaming as a form of modern art, you'll say, well, this game, like many other games, they're very close to films and television series. There is the element of franchise. You get always the new content and new installments coming in. You have audiovisual quality. You have RPG stroke the games that are based on some form of story, have a storyline and narrative, and therefore those two medias indeed are very, very closely aligned. And anyone who is a passionate video gamer may want to explore some of the older films, become more acquainted with film history. They may want to be exploring, if you are, let's say, a fan of Destiny or Mass Effect, some of those areas of 1950s and 60s where sci-fi films were very, very popular. Many of them were trailing the fear of nuclear Armageddon, and therefore we had all sorts of interesting flicks arriving from the US. Could recommend you quite a selection, but what better way to reacquaint by just jumping into my playlist. Go to Film Dialogue Cinematheque, have several thousand films in there, and you can just pop in and have a look. In fact, the sci-fi playlist has still not been launched, but I have all the others dedicated to film history, to alternative, avant-garde, experimental films, to documentaries of film history, to genres such as comedy, gangster film, pre-code films, silent classics, animated films, horror genre, and crime films, romance. So we have quite a set of musicals as well, nearly forgot. So my playlist is basically dedicated to the approach which we call genre film history, and film directors and film stars, the usual kind of preferences that every dedicated film buff or a scholar of film history will have, and therefore you can become very knowledgeable. The best way of doing it is, first of all, you access Twitter, which is Film Dialogue Twitter. You get daily news on everything that's happening out there, also from our community members, people who are posting various photographs and clips of their favorite stars and films online every single day. So it's a mixture of the two. The concept is identical to what I have here on Gaming Dialogue. And then let's say you've seen something about Carol Lombard and Clark Gable, and you want to find out more about them. So you go to my playlist, and my playlist is on YouTube channel called Film. One of those playlists dedicated to film history called Film History Documentaries, and there are several documentaries there on Carol Lombard and Clark Gable. So first of all, you watch the documentary, you become acquainted with the history, you find out more about facts and figures related to this couple. After that, you make a list of films which featured in there. Perhaps you've seen some clips that looked exciting, and then you go to the playlist of screwball comedies of the 1930s. You try to find those films, and indeed you watch them there. If you want to watch some other, I have to say, for whatever reason, horror genre is not my favorite, but it's very, very popular on the net and in a wider community. So there are lots of films in there. And if anyone wants to become really quite accustomed to the genre, I have to say the number of horror films available on the internet is literally excelling compared to anything else, which is to my great surprise. And, you can just go through that. Lots of Hammer horror films and various other obscure Spanish and Italian flicks from the 60s and 70s, when that genre was indeed thriving in those countries. You have lots of films of Mario Bava, who is a very, very well-known, very respected Italian film director of those so-called exploitation genres, and he was similar to what Dario Argento did later on. He tried to use the genre that was, I guess, popular and a style of filmmaking that at the time was quite cheap, in order to create something that he considered fairly artistic. He had also other directors like Riccardo Freda, who was excelling in some of those spectacular period pieces. And, just dive in, have a look, find something what you like the best. Lots of obscure American horror films from the 60s and 70s and from the 80s. And, as I said, anyone can explore something which is related to their favorite genre. If you like westerns, plenty of westerns in there. If you like film directors, plenty of documentaries on those. And you will find your favorites, and you'll be able to learn a lot more. So, as I said, Film Dialogue and Gaming Dialogue are here for you to explore at your leisure. So join in at any time and have a look. We'll try to do the similar sort of thing here on my Gaming Dialogue channel as well. But Film Dialogue at the moment is my priority, because I've been lagging through the year in view of the channel creation here, and I'm literally working as much as possible on creation of those lists and other concepts which were present there from beforehand. I'll try to do exactly the same here for Gaming Dialogue. We'll have the same concept based on video gaming history, together with some hot news and everything else. As you know, video gaming is one of the most popular activities on the planet at the moment, so we have the material coming our way in abundance, and we'll never be short of interesting video clips, documentaries, trailers, and indeed developer diaries. I will dedicate one section to developer diaries, because I like that sort of analysis, in-depth discussions, and all else the best. Because if you are a great fan of video games, then you will want to learn how those games were made. You will want to talk to, or you want to hear the developer teams talking about their intentions, and indeed then later reviewing how those intentions really merged with both their expectations and the community response. Sometimes it worked perfectly, sometimes the games excelled and exceeded all that was expected. Unfortunately, in some instances, it goes the other way. Right, so we have a lot more to do here with our character. Our character is Warlock, human male in Destiny 2 Forsaken. In fact, I don't think they should be called Destiny 2 Forsaken anymore, because this is called Destiny 2, and we have, 7 seasons already launched, and we are anticipating the 8th one called Shadowkeep. No, I'm wrong actually. That is going to be our new chapter. The new season is going to be called something else. The title escapes me right now, but there you are. We are all looking forward to all that is to unravel late in the year, and it is very important for everyone to be in possession of that Solstice of Heroes armor. If you don't get it through the season, which I believe some people will be also experiencing, then you are going to be getting some additional quests and lengthy grinds within the game. So you're not going to be ostracized. You will not have to wait until next year. You just have to get on with these lengthy grinds. And as some of our community members already said and considered, Destiny 2 is a lengthy grind overall. Luke Smith's re-evaluation of the last year was also focused on the differences, so anyone who still has not tried Complete Edition, or anyone who's not accessed the seasons or the later day DLC, I urge you to purchase Complete Edition and experience it, because the game's been completely reworked. And if you're not sure how this worked, basically have a look at what Mr. Smith said, read his evaluation, and you'll be able to see what the comparative notes were, and basically what differences they introduced. First and foremost, they introduced a completely different type of gameplay, where you had areas that were rife with enemies and packed with activities. They introduced escalation protocol. Gambit was enhanced even further, and indeed any sort of participation in Destiny 2 became a lot busier to what we've had, particularly during the year 1, and also compared to the original. The original appears to be a bit more linear, I think, compared to what we have here, and we are definitely enjoying all that's been created to the full. I'm very, very happy with the game. I think one of the best games ever created, and also it's wonderful to be an active participant. I think for the first time in my gaming career, I'm feeling like an active participant through and through, meaning I can write comments and views and my feedback to the developer, and they are engaging both with myself and others through the regular updates and evaluations like the one we've seen from Mr. Smith, and therefore I can obviously explore and enjoy the entire process. And it's wonderful, because I've heard from our Destiny 1 veterans how things were in the past, and I think what we have today is a lot more interactive. Bungie are more aligned with the community, they are more in tune with what people want, and therefore these discussions are flowing every single day. So that's really extraordinary, that is wonderful, and that is what we want to see in many more years, months and years to come. So I'm very happy with all experienced, and I'm just urging all of our Destiny 1 veterans who are perhaps not that keen, people who are a bit apprehensive, to invest that $34.99, and you will get one of the best offers, the best packages ever given to you in video gaming. The sheer volume of that content is going to be absolutely blinding for you, so make sure you purchase it. We've had quite a number of our junior community veterans listening to my broadcast, and then indeed doing the same, and then getting back to me with emails, tweets and messages saying, well, thank you so much for recommending, we didn't even realize it was so cheap. And obviously we are extremely happy with everything that we've had so far. And most importantly, you are then jumping with your both feet in, and you are becoming this active participant, and that's not just by being a team fire team member, but also by doing the game whilst the entire game is still being fully formed. And it's a challenge, it's a new concept. Many people thought that this was never going to work, and Bungie are proving it otherwise. So the time's come for us to be considering our online gaming activity. Warlock Human Male, played by DRBMiller, it is going to be. Just realised that my game sound is a bit loud, so we'll turn it down a bit so I can hear myself. I think there we are. A bit better. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Right, let me just think about the inventory. Did I do my inventory yesterday? Okay, what we'll do is we'll just go back to the tower first of all, like we always do. And then we are going to do a bit of admin. We need to collect all the bounties, and we need to then crack on with those activities. I did tell you already what the activities are going to be. Orbs are really hard to collect. I've spent already several weeks now. It's the 3rd week running, and I'm still not fully done and dusted with the Zorbs. Well, you'll appreciate that as a broadcaster, I talk a lot about, talk to my community, and we have a lot of discussions here live on air. Therefore, unlike some other hardcore gamers that are gaming 6 to 10 hours a day back to back, I guess I'm more focused on my community, and that's one of the reasons. I know that Sekapupu managed to collect his armor in less than a week, but he indeed spent a lot more time grinding and doing different tasks without any formal discussion here live on air. And he also said that he was getting his orbs quicker. Not sure why. Perhaps sometimes in the area where you're with other players, they're doing exactly the same thing. Many more orbs are dropped, and I'm doing them slowly but surely. We are getting there, so I'm quite confident that either within 24, 48 hours we are going to be there. Don't forget, elite. And if you're doing all 3 characters, well, that is going to be devilishly difficult, because each one of those is a lengthy grind, and some of the tasks are significantly different. You have to tailor your activity and your effort to those tasks, and I wish you all the very, very good luck in completing them all, because we know some of our friends here already have all 3 characters fully enabled, fully equipped, with the armor waiting for that 1st of October, when it can be upgraded to the exotic yellow majestic, which is fully customizable. We look forward to that. So we are progressing to our first destination, and that is the tower. So stand by and get ready to proceed. So we'll go to our friend Postmaster first and foremost. Let's collect some stuff from him.
Welcome back.
Leftovers from yesterday. 2 items. What's this? Foggy Nation. Good bone structure. Oh, new weapons. I've not seen them before. But I think what we will need to do is, first of all, we need to go to our vault.
He must have found something.
Vault. Let's see. Cerberus. We have several. Smuggler's Word. Baligant. Okay. Toil and Trouble. Okay. Keep this one, I think. Just about got it. Translation Theory. What have we got there? Let's see. Arsenic Bite. Yeah, I've got another one in the vault. Fusion Rifle 705 Misfit. Trust. Yeah, we can put this in the vault. And there we have. Oh, rocket launcher 731. Okay.
Earth's a good place. Worth fighting for.
This will need to change. We have that rocket launcher. Let's transit, and then this one can go to the vault. Okay. Excuse me, I couldn't really switch my mic off. This came so fast. No, what am I doing? Let's go to the vault. Okay, so that's... Let's see, another weapon that needs to go from there. Trust. Try. Now we'll keep everything here by the time. What's this? Automatic rifle. That's the only automatic rifle I've got. Okay, so let's see. What are these? So that's been completed. This one? 705, 722, 7. Okay.
tells the executor about this.
Okay, so that seems fine. And in here we have also maybe another sparrow that needs to come in.
This is bad. I don't want to be the one who tells the executor.
And the gleaming will put in.
Stock's always changing. Don't take too long.
This is ridiculous.
What do you think this machine does?
Doing the wrong thing, obviously.
What do you think this machine does?
This one we'll use when we go to PvP, give them more, because it's giving us a tracker. So that's pretty good, I quite like that one. Kitten Caboodle. Emotes. Okay, so that's all done and dusted, we don't have to worry about this at all. And then the time is now for us to collect our bounties, so we'll start with the usual. Oh no, we've got to collect these, I nearly forgot.
Checking.
So what's this? Submachine gun and good bone structure. So we'll have some spares yet again. And both of them are supposed to go there. Foggy Nation, good bone structure, they need to go to the vault. Okay.
All done, all done.
So pick up all the
What can I do
bounties
for you,
and
Guardian?
then we'll crack on.
Another satisfied customer. Thank you for shopping at Eververse.
So these are the ones from Tess. More from Zavala, I
Guardian.
think.
A prepared soldier is a victorious soldier.
Prepared soldier is a victorious
Farewell.
soldier. To speak to him? I don't think
What
so.
can I do for you, Warlock?
Don't think we have anything with Master Rahul. No. Nothing. Banshee.
What do you think? Take it. Keep focus. All runs together, doesn't it?
Did you show the darkness what light can do?
No.
Sure, every day.
We don't really
it
need
has
any
to.
of this.
I make sure of it.
And trying to think if there's anybody else that we need to talk to. I don't think there is. Rest of our stuff here. So what I'll do is I'll change my hood
It's Red Legion versus Red Jack. Wish I could
to
be the fight.
726 by the looks of it.
Crucible gets harsher every day. It has to. I make sure of it.
Grenade launcher reserves, machine gun reserves, heavy lifting.
Security, check in. All positions clear.
The tower didn't
Prosperity
deserve to bow
mod,
down, but we'll be stronger for it.
mobility. Okay. Warlock armor. Okay. Okay, and then we have this orbs. Any orbs?
Surveillance has found new targets.
Okay, so we'll have here 729. I think is going to be the one. Digital healers. Double check the perks. Not bad.
Security check. All secure.
Pulse rifle, submachine gun reserves. Unflinching shotgun, unflinching light arms aim, restorative mod, increased resilience.
Diagnostic complete. This unit functioning at 98.3%
Okay, and then improve mobility. Okay, so we'll go for that.
I don't want to be the one who tells you shit.
Trying to see which one would look better. So this one. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
What do you think this machine does?
There we are. Looking good.
I need better
I like it. Beautifully designed. You can see resilience is not really great in here, but mobility and recovery are. Recovery is more important, let's face the facts.
The tower's lost good people, Guardians. Help us push back.
System diagnostic complete. This unit functioning at 98.3% optimum performance.
It's all going in the wrong manner.
We have to act immediately. Red Legion is everywhere.
Status pending.
Now, mind you, they can probably have increasing supervision speed. Yeah, super mod is the one I want to have there,
It's all going in the
because
wrong
our super is going to be recovering then much faster. That's basically going to be the principle that will be very, very important as we progress to Shadowkeep, because the mods are going to be providing us with extra perks and abilities, and there are going to be lots of mods, and we will not be able to get rid of them, so basically they just stay there for us to use whenever we want. And
You're doing your
it'll
part
be very
out there,
important
I
to
hope.
examine every one of those. You know, I've seen the lists and the layouts during that Bungie broadcast recently, and they said this is going to be the major step forward in terms of how we're going to customize our character.
But not every place
Okay.
can be perfect.
So wait a minute, there was something else. There was something else.
I'm hungry for news, Guardian.
So this is 726. Okay, we're working on this.
I know you're busy, Guardian, but the Crucible needs veterans now more than ever.
Yeah. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, it is down to the playlists. So we need to go to Vanguard
The
playlists,
universe is getting
I don't
dangerous.
want to be the one who tells
and
you
orbs need to be solar. Okay, so change this, and then that's solar.
I admire your work, Guardian.
Okay, this is
You're
not
an
solar.
artist.
Oh, I don't have anything solar in there. I need to go to the vault to pick it up.
Our work is unfinished, Guardian. What can I do?
Let's see.
What do you think this machine does?
So it would need to be a grenade launcher or rocket launcher. Okay. Okay.
I can work with this.
Speak to me. It's all going into the wrong band.
Forget what I was doing. Lost too much when the Red Legion hit us.
We and the data is with us. This is tough. I don't want to be the one who goes executive. It's all going into the wrong band.
Okay, well, that's another time. It's quite easy to select and see if we have any doubles, so it's a lot more useful and better organized compared to Destiny 1. Alright, so the time now is for us to go to orbit, to crack on that playlists and get on with some of the activities. Just remembered I didn't really enable my rocket launcher, and needs to go in. Rocket launcher. So final blows we'll do in escalation protocol, I think, and yeah, that's right. So we are still about 400 to go. My goodness, let's see how fast this is going to be. The trouble I had yesterday was that the strikes were glitched and I had to replay some of the strikes, and you know the glitch which was happening throughout the gameplay where you would come to a certain area, couldn't see the enemies. That's been resolved in all other activities, but apparently it's happening in the strikes, so that's very annoying. There we are. Get ready for the first in a line of many. So let me see, what are the modifiers? Brawler, melee abilities. The jump, the effectiveness is increased, arc damage increases slightly. Okay. Well, I'll be doing solo, I'm afraid.
Failsafe has been compromised. A band of Fallen touched down on Nessus and they've raided a secondary crash site for the Exodus Black. She is a powerful ally and our foothold on this planetoid. We have to help.
I have no sensor reach in that direction, Captain. But their weapons have left a trail of arc pulses. Will you help me track them? I can feel them crawling around behind my eyes.
Ew. I just ate.
Thank you. to be collecting the orbs. What am I doing there?
Set of coordinates. Those fallen can't be far. Down a location. Let's go.
God, look at that. Oh, this is so good. Somebody else is generating orbs.
Sounds juicy. What's going on?
Sorry, Cap. I cut the line. There's a buzzing in my brain. I think the Fallen are ripping up my ship.
Be careful while I'm gone. This machine, it's some kind of arc energy cipher.
That is Exodus tech. If you care about Ghost, keep arc induction away from that machine.
Please care about Ghost.
Yeah, a little shock might give him spine.
Ow, ow, this really stings. Thanks. I need a vacation. Barrier is down. My scan showed the Fallen used arc energy from Exodus tech to control everything here, including the barriers.
Arc overloads Vex systems. They start leaking milk.
Lovely.
Captain, have you located those Fallen? Not pressing, but I can feel them. Ripping things out. Fusing circuits.
We've handled quite a few of them, actually. I guess they're not the ones we want. We'll keep looking. We're investigating new arc pulses now.
Yeah. Carrying on, collecting orbs, looking good. Strike's no glitch so far, fingers crossed.
Hello? I was so worried about you guys. And your stuff.
The cage unit is back.
Zavala's gonna be so mad you cut him out of this. Onward. Fail safe. How you holding up, buddy?
I hid from the Vex for centuries. You blew my cover. Now the Fallen are inside my ship, tearing it apart. How do you think I'm doing?
Ghost. How you holding up, buddy?
Well, this is slightly annoying because the other guys are racing it and I need to collect the orbs, you know. So without combat, it's going to
It's
be no
dark in here.
orbs.
Failsafe, this ship has seen better days.
So have I, Ghost. So have I.
We'll slap a new coat of paint on you. You're gonna be fine.
What was that? I don't think we're alone.
Someone's racing.
Operation Bobo has begun.
Shouldn't we tell him we're fine?
Nah, it's better this way. No one gets left behind, Piccolo. No one. Stand by for rescue. I'll break those fallen mice.
Okay, let's see. How far did we get? Three orbs created. Don't believe it. It's too bad. I collected quite a few, so that's pretty good. 720. How can I be so stupid? Nearly deleted my So what are the orb status in here? Let's see. Final low is 30. 138. Okay, 33 per strike, okay. Not too bad. Not too good either. Prefer like 100, but the other guys weren't generating any. That's what the trouble was.
We're approaching the temple, Petra.
Copy that. Standing by.
Heading inside now.
Good. Descend to the heart of the temple. You're looking for one of the Queen's Techians. Tech witches, you Guardians call them. Her name is Sadia. She was taken, but she can be saved. She will try to kill you. Much as you might like to do the same, you must spare her.
The other guys are racing again and I need to collect my orbs. Boo! This track's actually quite difficult.
I can get us to the bottom of the temple from here. Cover me.
Let's go down below, right? No. the other chap. Destiny 2, the guys are wasting a lot more than Destiny 1, from what I could gather. Several times they've been in situations like this, just literally legging it. What the idea is.
Watch out!
Orbs.
Try that teleporter.
Right. Ridiculous. I didn't see a thing in my...
That's the witch. Remember, we're here to save her.
Oh no, I jumped. Oh no. How about doing res? Thank you, thank you. Oh, no, no. I thought you were gonna fall. Thank you. Glitched. I don't see any enemies in there.
Eyes up.
Oh, right. Okay. Don't see anything. There, didn't even register. Go away. Dreadful glitches happening yet again. But it looks like I'm just about to complete my orbs. But not in the strikes. That is going to be very, very lengthy by the looks of it. Back to those. Okay, I picked up about 30, or more, even 40. Don't know why, but these strikes are so glitchy. Look at this, waiting there for so long.
friend
Thank you.
K6 did not act alone. She was there. It's revenge. Put us ours next.
swords should be finished. Bounced off the banister. Thank you.
It's your turn to die for good, dead thief. It's your turn to die for good, dead thief.
this was terrific. This was really good. There's loads of orbs in there. Not many more of these strikes. Okay. Oh, completed. Completed. Okay, progressing forwards, that's good. Let's see, Vigil of Heroes. I've seen that before. Fusion rifle, rocket launcher. Armor enhancement. About 200 more, I think. The last one was very good. Yeah. Nearly there, nearly there. Getting there. Step by step. So we've got more orbs there on.
Welcome to Operation Stormcoat, Guardian. The Taken have deployed shielded blights and other defensive measures across this area. The local hydro plant is under their control. Their behavior here has been
super fine blows. Well, that would have to be done separately.
Watch out for Fallen as well. Get their arms in everything, don't they? It appears we're not the only ones with interests in this region.
We're not the only ones with interest in this region.
One of my teams reported Taken energy infecting the water supply. Our purification tech can only do so much. If the contamination spreads, people will die.
Taken fog cleared up as soon as the blight went down.
If the blights can be killed, then perhaps their infection can be reversed. You lot are going to save lives today.
Every taken energy source on the surface is dead. Plenty more underneath us, though.
You're fighting symptoms. They have to have a source. A leader guiding their will.
If the Taken wanted to poison the entire dead zone, this was the place to do it. They didn't pick it by accident.
If they succeed, we won't have room on the farm. We're still treating wounded from the Red War.
It won't come to that.
Thank you. Good.
They just left that unguarded? This smells fishy to me.
Fight away. Unlucky. Unlucky. Ravenous. Ravenous Rodney. Well, we're struggling a bit. Yeah, let's face the facts. Not that many wolves in here. environment hazard. Well, says it all. Yeah, that's not very good, is it?
killed the guy in charge and his big scary blight.
The scouts I sent are the best in the militia, and even they were ultimately helpless against this. You Guardians are a blessing.
When we have a common goal, civilians and Guardians can stand side by side and accomplish anything.
I could listen to you two talk all day.
That's taken a while. Right, let's have a look at the score, then I'll take a short break. Don't think I picked up that many orbs in there because I didn't have 2 teammates, unfortunately. Yeah, only about 5 orbs. Then can smudge. Just lieutenant. Okay, I'm going to quickly do the admin. Leglobin Garoon. Future perfect. Can't use that one. Okay, take a short break. When we come back, we'll carry on with our strikes. There we are. Vanguard it is going to be. So, have a cup of tea, have a breath of fresh air, biscuit, and then we'll come back in about 5 minutes. There we are, my friends, we are back. I'm still grinding Solstice of Armor quests. Orbs are so slow coming, I have to say. We had that one strike, and I picked up 200 orbs in that strike. It's absolutely astonishing. And then, with all the other strikes, we're getting hardly anything. Well, strike dependent, I guess, but we'll carry on as usual. So we're still in about 200 roughly, I think. 170 to be precise. Or I should say 166. Okay. Let's hope we replay the strike that gave us 200 orbs and we'll be done and dusted and laughing. And then having a cup of tea out there.
Operation Stormcoat can begin. A local band of Tickets is holed up in a neighboring hydro plant.
They seem rather fond of it. At this rate, I'll have taken muck in my tea by day's end.
How could they have coordinated this well? Taken have no leader.
Perhaps you just answered your own question, Ghost.
still tracking taken energy nearby. They're all over the water facility. And under it. Whatever's behind this must be underground.
That's the backup angriest inmates. Good luck.
An old friend is here. Judgment at hand. Vex. Space advantage. Cabal reinforcements unleashed. Vex. Space advantage. Strategist. Our reward. Time Stalker Outworks. The overmound Minotaur.
Thanks for your help out here, Chosen One. So, hey, confession time. Spider asked me to get a crew together to take the prison back from the Barons, and you did great. So, I'll clean up behind you. and Spider will sell this place back to the Awoken.
We want a cut.
I like your style, but you all already got a cut. It's right there in front of you.
Right.
Fallen tripped one of my proximity alarms. They have crossed into the Exodus Black secondary crash.